Hey everybody. Okay, so here is another update video. I have finished my spring 2 semester with 100%. Kind of funny, but not so funny thing is that the professor was an adjunct professor and he had the dates all messed up. So I was supposed to have another discussion post to do this week and an exam. Well, the director over top of the program, over the students, said that the professors needed to turn their grades in yesterday. So what does that mean for me? Oh, I didn't have to do the last discussion post and I didn't have to do a final exam. So in my book, that is definitely a win-win situation. And I got 100% in the class, 4.0 still intact. We say that now, but listen, I ain't going to promise that I'm going to stay with a 4.0 for forever because you don't have to always be perfect, and I am working on that. Yeah, I'm a work in progress. Speaking of a work in progress, as a future counselor, it's very important to understand all aspects of counseling. So what that means is taking part in counseling yourself. So I've been saying this for a very long time, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do counseling. Yep, I'm going to do counseling. It's great for you. Everybody should do it, blah, 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 blah. And I had been searching for a counselor, not going to lie. It is slim pickings for the type of counselor that I want, because since this is such a personal experience, you want to make sure that you are matched up with somebody that you feel like will understand you without you having to explain certain things like cultural aspects. So I reached out to one of my friends that's in the school and I said, hey, I'm looking for a therapist. I know we don't live in the same area, same state or anything, but like, how did you find a therapist? Because I am like struggling. And she said, oh, I did teletherapy. I'm like, okay, teletherapy. I only read a little bit about it in one of my classes. And the only thing I really knew about it is kind of like virtual therapy, where you have somebody on video and you have your therapy sessions like that. And I was kind of like, I don't know. So I was like, you know what? I got to do something. I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I need somebody that I can divulge these certain aspects of my life that I just can't communicate with the people that I talk to, like my mother or friends. It's just like some things you need to have somebody that really has no judgment and really has no personal gain or influence in it. Like just really a person that is there to listen and kind of look at it from a different viewpoint. So, because I don't know about you guys as friends and family, but like if I'm hyped up about something, they get just as hype. I need somebody that's going to kind of balance that out and be like, whoa, slow down. You don't need to go from 0 to a million, because I don't even do 0 to 10. Like if I did 0 to 10, like I would consider myself a normal person. But that's not the case. Like I get all revved up. Like I'm like, oh my God, why did this happen? And my anxiety kicks in and my stress and just the whole nines. And it's really not healthy, especially the fact that the scary thing is I could be completely revved up, check my blood pressure, and it's almost like I'm not even revved up. I think my body is so used to it. It's like, my mom's like, that's the resting blood pressure of somebody that's laying down, like almost comatose, which is not good either. So obviously I have to get that checked. But so I did find a teletherapy company, and so far so good. But okay, so here's the thing. It's like you can have a therapist and you have all access to them. You pay one monthly charge and you can communicate with them whenever you want and whenever they're available. So what that means is it's not like a typical therapy session where it's like, okay, I'm scheduling with this person for maybe one day a week or 2 days a week, and then we kind of meet, after that, like on a schedule. With this, it's like you can basically message your therapist whenever you want. And yes, they are licensed mental health counselors. And trust and believe, going into this field, I surely did run their license. And especially me being in the health industry, that's just a normalcy thing that I do. So, of course, I would be stupid to spend my money and not research. So, really great reviews. The only thing that I kind of saw was that some people were like, I wasn't really getting responses. And this is before I actually paid for the plan. And I was like, okay, but you got to consider like what was that person's needs and what kind of responses were they expecting and how frequently. Like some people I think thought, oh, this is kind of like a text messaging or a crisis counseling type thing where you just kind of like text and then somebody's always there to respond. No, these are actual therapists that are, have their license, have their own practices, some of them, and the qualifications is that they obviously have to be licensed and they have to have 3 years worth of being interpersonal connected with people. Like it's not like, oh, I got my license, boom, let me just apply to be online and I don't have to worry about dealing with person-to-person contact. No, it doesn't work like that. You really have to make sure that this person is qualified and has the skill set in order to help people, which is even harder because you can't really read people unless you do a video session, which they have those, but you really can't read somebody's emotion based off of just them typing, as we all very well know. People get over in arguments over text, over emails, like shoot, it happens to me, it happens to everybody, like it really does. So it's very important when I do this that I have to stay cognizant of that and understand like I'm human, they're human, blah, 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 blah. But with that being said, the first counselor that I was matched up with, I was like, okay, credentials look great. She's the type of counselor that I want, everything looked great on paper. So I reached out to her and, you have to put down like, what are the areas that you feel like you need counseling for? Now, this is not where you put your therapeutic goals. So I just want to clarify that because if you're in a mental health counseling program, or if you've been to therapy before, you know that you have to set your therapeutic goals. So this was not what this is. It was just basically an intro form where you just kind of put your name and you put like your age and kind of some of the things that you feel like you need to get help with. So I kind of built all that out. I got matched up with this one counselor. Okay, great. Check. That was easy. And so then I send her a message because she was like, well, what brings you to feeling like you need therapy? Kind of give me a little bit about what's going on in your life. So then that way we can kind of go from there. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. So I give her like this paragraph, right? And she never responds back. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, okay, well, we're all human. This is the first interaction. I'll give her 24 hours and then I'll just be like, okay, like, so I messaged her. I said, so when should I expect a message back from you in reference to what I told you my issues are? I kid you not. Like, I was just like, she's not the person for me. She's going to respond back. Not to the issues that I said that I was having. She responds back and says, oh, you will expect the first response to be in 24 hours. And then after that, responses within 24 to 36 hours. Okay, so wait a minute, pause. It's been over 24 hours. You didn't address any of the issues that I had. And your response to me is to say, oh, you'll respond to me in 24 hours. Never once addressed any of the concerns that I had and the reasons why I needed therapy. Like a real therapist, because this chick definitely freaking sucked, would have been like, oh, okay. Well, thank you for letting me know what's going on. I understand that these are some of your concerns. We're definitely going to make sure that we create some goals to obtain what you're seeking. And I'm so sorry this is what you're going through. I hope you understand that you can trust in the process. And just, to let you know, the communication style is XYZ. not this chick. I'm like, so I respond back to her. I said, so your response to me is to give me an answer of what the times are, not to even address after 24 hours of what my actual concerns are. The great thing about this thing, the great and the bad thing, was that I was able to cancel her immediately, like within a day and a half of her being my counselor. I was like, you're straight trash. Like, there's some counselors, just FYI, and even in the program that I'm in, I'm like, you're going to be trash as a counselor. And I know that sounds super horrible, but so many people are just in this for the wrong reason. And I'm like, you are not personable. You are very mean spirited and you're narcissistic. How can you be narcissistic and be in this field? It's like mind blowing. That's what this chick was. As far as I'm concerned, that's what she was, because you, first of all, you get how somebody is within your first interaction. Her first interaction was to not address anything that I said were my actual real life concerns, which is counseling one-on-one. You need to at least let the person know that you read their concerns, since this is all on, the computer, and that you need to say, I understand that this is what you're going through, blah, blah. Like, make some type of acknowledgement that you even freaking read it. So I hit next counselor, because the great thing about this thing is that you can hit next counselor, move on to the next counselor. Oh, before I moved on to the next counselor, I decided that I was going to write her a review, because I think that people should know who they're dealing with when they spend their money. So I wrote a review, and I essentially said the same thing. I reached out to this counselor I was matched with. I put down what my concerns were. It was over a 24-hour period. She never responded and said anything of acknowledgement of what was going on at all. Not even when she responded and said, oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you, da 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 da. Like, that would have been more acceptable for her to respond back and be like, well, the initial response will be in 24 hours. And then after that, it'll be 24 to 36 hours. Psh, piss off, because I don't want no parts of you. So then I'm like, okay, great. On to the next counselor after I wrote her a nice review. It wasn't nasty, but it was definitely to the point so that other people can steer clear of her behavior, because she's freaking ratchet. So I get to the next counselor, and let me tell you, match made in the world, because she is, for me, perfect. Like, she responds all the time. She gives great suggestions. On Monday, I had a 1-hour session with her, and I have another session with her on Friday. And even throughout the time, like, she will message me and be like, I haven't heard from you. I'm just checking in. I want to make sure everything's okay. So if I like message her, like the other day, I was like, I just woke up feeling so irritable and angry, and I couldn't even understand why, because I got enough sleep. And I'm like, I'm just irritable and angry. Like, everything, like, I went into work and I'm like, oh my God, why are you sneezing? Why are you breathing so loud? Like, why are you, like, some people are like, coughing, sneeze. And I'm just like, I felt like my ears were going to explode, and I could feel my blood temperature rising. Like, I was getting so irritated. So what did I do? Which is the great thing about this system is I messaged her. I was like, right now, I am so irritable. Everything is pissing me off. I don't even understand why. And guess what? Within an hour, she was messaging me back. Okay, so what's going on? Why do you feel that these things are irritating you? And I'm like, because I haven't had a vacation in forever. Like, I work, I go to school, I come home, I try and run 2 businesses, I clean, I never get a break. I said the last break that I had was in October, which really wasn't a break. It was me running out of work for an issue that my mom getting laid off wrongfully from her job. And that was all the way in October. And then for 7 months, I was the sole breadwinner. So of course I was going to be stressed out. And she's like, Camille, breathe. You need a vacation. I said, but I can't, because I have residency in July for a week. And the job that I work at, you only get 3 freaking hours biweekly. Like, I'm used to 5 hours biweekly. So this is like some plantation type crap. I don't understand. And it's like normal down here. I don't understand that either. I'm like, what in the world? Like, work people to death much? And so she was like, well, can't you take like an hour, 2 hours? And I'm thinking like, yes, but I'm the type of person, like, if I'm going to take off time, I want to be able to like fully relax. Like if I just take an hour or two, like leave a work an hour or two early, that's not rest to me. It's just not, because I need to be able to be like, I took an hour or two and I'm doing something that didn't encompass my day starting with work. I can't do that. So like for me, it's like I need an entire day off. And right now, because I'm trying to accumulate so much time for residency and yes, job searching, because interviews be happening during the day, I don't really have that option. I have that option, but I can't really use that option because I have to think in advance. And I know my health is so important. And so what she suggested, she was like, okay, well, why don't you listen to some meditation at work and maybe that'll soothe your mind. So what I actually ended up doing yesterday is I came home and I took a bath. I have not taken a bath in years. First of all, I'm like completely OCD because I need to like scrub my whole bathroom before I take a bath. So that's another reason why I don't always take a bath, because like it's exhausting. And then by the time I get in the tub, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to sleep. And I'm like, I'm not trying to drown myself. So I took a bath last night and I was like, wow, I've actually felt relaxed. And I was like, wow, you look really relaxed. And I did. So I really think that small things add up, even though it doesn't seem like it, it really does. Just her even making some suggestions made me think of more suggestions. And I know that sounds so small, but when you're so caught up in your own life and you feel like everything's on your shoulders and you just can't think your way out of like even the simplest things of like taking a bath or listening to relaxing music. Like I'll listen to music, but I'll be real, like I'll listen to like Louis Farrakhan or like some of the greats like Malcolm X, like, stuff that kind of like, it doesn't really relax you. It kind of gets you like hyped up. Either that or listen to like freaking trap music, don't judge. And so, that's really not the best thing to be listening to when you're trying to relax and ease your mind. So I used to listen to classical music a lot. When I was younger, I used to play the violin, and listening to classical music has always calmed me. So I think I just need to get back to what I know works. And also, I used to paint. Like I used to draw and paint, and I just need to get back to some of those simpler things. But in the meantime, I'm just saving up my time, going to my therapy sessions, and yes, I have homework. She gave me homework and I'm a little anxious because I have to write a letter. And that kind of, I told her, I said, listen, what you're asking for is kind of like tensing me up. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update and let you know what I'm going through in therapy, and maybe that'll help some of you guys that might be struggling with trying to find a therapist in your area. Don't be scared to go to therapy. I know I was super scared, and once I got the urge up, I started to feel really defeated because I couldn't find somebody. It wasn't until one of my friends in the program was like, why don't you try this? And I'm like, you know what? Oh my God, that actually worked. Like I knew this, but I didn't even think about it because why? My brain's so clouded with other things I had to do. But just, try and find one that's in your area, or there's national teletherapy places, businesses, and just always make sure that they're licensed, registered, the whole nine. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your day. Bye.